I do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you. Yes, you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again. Another day, another moment for us to build momentum. Usually, my own live stream pops up. There we go. Now it's there. Sicketh. Yeah. Momentum. Momentum exponential momentum. Specifically the exponential part. Hey, Shan. Duck that. I was thinking about you this morning, dude. Sending you love. Loazana. Missing you too. Flesh vehicles of substance. Jovan here too. I feel the momentum in chat already. So we're gonna talk about momentum. This understanding that no matter what you do, in fact, everything you do, specifically everything you do, contributes to the momentum of your life, right? And then realizing you're going in a direction, right? With momentum. Hey, a thing. Thank you, dear friend. Thank you for inviting some of your friends as well. Always warms my heart to see that. Sending you love. So momentum. This stream to me is a form of momentum as well, as you friends know. And we have been building, right? Been building so much momentum. Like momentum to the point where it cannot be escaped, right? Maybe that's the thing that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about it from this perspective of, again, the exponential. Because for the longest time in an exponential curve, things go kind of parallel, right? Horizontal with the parallel with the horizontal line, or at least semi-parallel. No. Day by day. Moment by moment. Nothing is happening. Only small, insignificant, barely noticeable change, and then suddenly it goes, skapow, whoosh, all the way up. How goes it? Good. I've been like mildly in pain over the last while. My eye has been twitching. My mind has been running fractals of problem resolution, as you say. But I'm feeling good. I'm still exercising. I'm still dancing. I'm just like modifying everything, like the way I put weight on my wrists. So I feel, even though I'm not comfortable, I'm okay with it, which is a different kind of comfortable, right? It's a momentum. Yesterday specifically, I was listening to, I think the CEO of IBM might be, or she's just a manager, but she was talking about being a compassionate leader. And one of the things that she mentioned is how, compassionate leaders have the ability to be calm, be kind, be okay, even if things aren't. And I feel like, again, all the discomfort that I go through is supposed to be seen as a means to become more exponential, right? Become more cognizant of what momentum I want to build, right? If I'm going to build the momentum of complaining, of being angry, of hurting others around me because I'm in pain, how is that going to affect my life 5, 10, 50 years from now versus the momentum of being loving, right? And how that's going to affect my life. I'm going to exercise just now, psyching myself up for it. Get it, thing. Get it. Get that exercise. Treat your body. Is Joy Vive here? Yeah, she is. It's nice seeing you, Joy Vive. I see Nancy's here too. Again to you, Loizana, sending you love. Jovan sending love and to all of our friends. Thank you. How's your foot, Melty? Better. Better today than it was yesterday. Wrist also better today than it was yesterday. So they're getting better. They're getting better. I also ate properly today, right? Actually fed myself the way I know I'm supposed to. So hopefully that helps. Like I'm like kind of embarrassed. So I tell on myself. I started journaling, which I feel completely changed my perception of self to the point where it's almost uncomfortable for me to do anything that I know is less than me, right? Because I tell on myself. If I do stuff that I'm not supposed to do, I write about it. I'm like, and now, even thinking about doing something that I'm not supposed to do, I think about the version of me that is telling on me tomorrow, and I'm like, damn it, can't can't be less than perfect because I'm gonna know about it forever. Some people give energy, some take energy. If I'm giving energy, then I would rather give good vibes. Exactly, Ting. If you can give anything, right? Because that's the thing about infinity. You can give anything. Anything. Isn't that trippy? The fact that you can create experiences for others. I feel it's powerful. Hey, Sheen. And hello, Izana, sending lovin's as well. What's new, Yell? Sam's, nice having you. Joy Vive, how's the workouts going? I was curious about that yesterday as well, actually. Well, yesterday after stream, I was curious about how Joy Vive's workouts are going. I'm always happy to hear you're eating, Melty. I am eating. I haven't stopped eating, right? And I do it fast occasionally, but I do that mindfully. And fasting is good for you, all right? I know if you're diabetic, it might be dangerous, but fasting in and of itself isn't necessarily bad for you. I don't not eat to starve myself. I not eat because I know it's good for me in moderation. And then when I do eat, it's easier to eat some things rather than others. And then I eat the things that I know are easy instead of the things that I know serve me. And then I tell them myself, I'm like, stop doing that. Mm. I've already loved my water, but I'll love it some more. What's the intention for today? Momentum. Mm. Positive momentum. Positive momentum. Yeah, that's nice. Sam practicing. Happy to hear you're eating. Thank you again for the love. Thank you, Rambler, for joining us and for sending love to our friends. It's nice having you. Duck Dad saying, Grandma has been sick since Saturday, but she's back in action today. Happy to hear that. I'm very behind in planting, so I'm going unstoppable momentum for 7 hours today. Are you going to, or have you already gone for 7 hours? Sending you strength, Duck Dad. I see. Hmm. I see the protection Nordic rune. It goes like it's like a the hippie symbol without the circle around it. That little it's supposed to be a protection rune. So I'm sending you protection for your for your lots of hours. Don't burn yourself out. I know you'll be okay. Sending you love. If these plants are so awesome, why don't they plant themselves? Would be pretty sick if they could do that. I actually saw a video today of scientists developing these new like shaved wood bits that they implant seeds at the front of, and then they drop them from helicopters or drones, and then as they gain moisture, they expand, and as they lose moisture, they turn back on themselves, and that expand and turning action drills them into the ground. So quite literally planting themselves. Yeah, Duck Dad. Of course, you had to say something like that. That would perfectly sink into my brain and the information I've been exposed to. Well, Sam, I have to write my speech. What speech do you have to write? Are you using ChatGPT? I'm only half joking. I mean, you can use ChatGPT to make it easy, right? You can give it like the base, what your topic is gonna be about, what kind of style of speech you want, and then have like a rudimentary little thing, and then you can go in and make it your own. That's plagiarism, Mel. The AI is coming, friends. Like it's here. Like that's the thing. Like right, all of these movies we've seen, the Terminators and Detroit Become Human and I Robot and Chappie. Like there's probably so many more that I don't even know about. We're in it. Here we are, right? Fortunately, it's not going as sicko mode as it goes in the movies, but we're there, right? Like in the next decade, what it means to be human, what it means to live a human life, is going to be so vastly different to the way we live right now and to the way that life has been lived for the last 10,000 years that it's going to be unrecognizable, right? Like we are in the singularity right now in so many ways. Like you can't predict the future anymore. And I love it. I love predicting the future. And I'm like, in a state of shock. Hey, thank you for the positive vibes, Ferrio. It's nice having you, dude. Sending you good vibes too. So much love to you. Hashtag melt more. That hashtag melt more is a different color. Thank you for hashtagging me. Ah, the lit thing has been stuck in my mind since yesterday as well. I haven't stopped thinking about it. Like I even wrote about it in my journal today, where I was like, yeah, we will live lit lives. And I'm like, yeah, love is true lives. Yeah, yeah. I even highlighted the lit part. That's so freaking stupid. Speech for my closing ceremony. I'm procrastinating. Good luck is the only thing I can say. Good luck, and I'm sure you'll get it done. Yeah, well, Sam, I have my meeting with my instructor tonight to go over my consultation I had with Mel. I haven't had any more since, but I'm going to put a thingy, thinger in Discord for you friends if you're interested. I'm guessing if you're interested in having a consultation with me, thank you for asking, Sam. Thank you for letting us know. I feel like the best thing you can do. I think I just got pooped on. Yeah, small little poop still on my hand. You see that? Thank you for blessing me, little burb. The best way we can get people to want to consult with us is to be like directly to their faces, going into the DMs and being like, hey, you want a consultations? I don't know if your friends got the Shining reference, but yeah, go and shining them, go and peek into their worlds. You got this, Shan. I know that's the hardest part. I'm procrastinating working on what I'm supposed to be working on because I'm already stuck in the future, knowing that after I get done what I'm working on, I'm going to have to do the real hard part, and that is reaching out to people. And I'm like, bruh, do I have to do that? And my higher self is like, yeah, you can't talk to people if you don't talk to people, dude. How about it? Fine. No, 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 no. Speech. Grandma is my mom. Joy Vive, grandma is my mom. But thanks kindly. What? You did say grandma has been sick. Oh, grandma as in your daughter's grandma, I'm guessing, is how you're using it right now. Susanna, you're making a speech. That's awesome. You're saying it's about a closing ceremony. What ceremony are you closing? Or is it a ceremony of closing? Hey Google, define ceremony. Ceremony, a formal, religious, or public occasion, especially one celebrating a particular event, achievement, or anniversary. Hello, Kitty. Kitty is assaulting me again, coming all up in my personal space, putting her butthole against me and shut. Why do cats do that, yo? Thank you, Kitty, for giving me some space. Why do cats do that? Straight up get on top of your body, be like, oh wait, dude. Do that thing where you give me pets and stuff. I'm gonna up my brightness a little bit so I can see better. There we go. I've been patiently waiting for the right opportunity to come for consultation. Thanks for what you do. Thank you, Jovan, for echoing that sentiment. Task it to an AI and do art, Zana. You see, Sam is also in the same fractal as I am. I have no momentum. Like, again, the AI will help, right? Like, and this is really how insane it is. Check. Let me show you. Like, I do not even know what it's about. But I'm gonna do this. Hey Connor, I've been thinking about you, dude. Saying you love it. It's nice having you. Yeah, your session has expired. Do you wanna ruggery in again? Oh, nice. Chat GPT is at capacity right now. And then I go and I refresh, and then I press the login button again. Because I'm a lazy millennial, I let Google remember my password for me, which is probably less than ideal. But oh well. And then I can go, hey chat, can you write me a speech for a closing ceremony? I have to give it tomorrow. And then boom, you hit enter, and then it starts. Sure, I'd be happy to. Here's a closing speech. Good evening, everyone. It's been an honor to be part of this wonderful event, and I'm thrilled to be standing before you all tonight for this closing ceremony. I hope you're enjoying the event as much as I have. I want to begin by expressing my sincere thanks to everyone who has made this event possible, from the organizers to the volunteers, from the sponsors to the attendees. Each and every one of you have played a vital role in making this event a success. I want to extend a special thanks to the speakers, performers, and exhibitors who shared their talents, insight, and innovations with us. Over the course of this event, we've learned, laughed, forged new connections. We've had the opportunity to explore new ideas, engage in meaningful conversations, and celebrate our shared humanity. We've seen firsthand the power of collaboration, creativity, and community. As we come to an end of this event, I hope that we will carry these expectations and insights with you. I hope that you will continue to engage with the ideas and the people that you've encountered here, and that you will continue to strive for excellence and innovation in your respective fields. Before we begin, before we bring this event to a close, I want to leave you with a few parting thoughts. First, remember that no matter where you are in your journey, you have the potential to make a positive impact on the world. Yeah, gang, gang, gang. Yeah. Second, embrace diversity and inclusivity in all aspects of your life, and seek out the opportunity to learn from those whose experience and perspective different from your own. Finally, be kind, be curious, and be courageous in all that you do. Thank you again for being a part of this incredible event. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and I look forward to seeing the positive changes that you will bring about in the world. Right? Just like, think about what I just did. I spoke a few words of what I wanted, and then now I had a speech. And I could add, right, exactly what your event was about, and it will automatically update that shiznit. So it has right? AI, exponentiality. We're going there right now. This is where we are in humanity. Like, that isn't insane to all of you friends. Like, I don't know what it is at this point. Oh goodness. Oh, my week has been hectic. So the point I'm trying to make is you don't even need momentum, right? Like, stuff like that gives you so much momentum that it's almost like you don't even need it anymore. I'm gonna shoot, no melt. I'm still getting a kid out of the door. Need to go 7 hours. That's kid-free window of time. Okay, makes sense. Said you good vibes, dude. Strength, protection. Sham, you're so smart. That is the way I want to use my own finger brains to do it. Well, Susanna, you just watched me, right? Like, you just watched me create a closing ceremony speech in actual seconds, right? And was it less impressive because I didn't write it with my own little meaty fingers? You're still going to be the one delivering the speech, right? So in that way, that is going to be the human element to it. And that's the way I think of it as well. Like, creativity, the way you deliver something. Like, I could have read that speech like, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me and play and be diverse, right? And then people would have been like, this dude sucks. Even if it was the best written speech in the entire universe, the way you deliver it, your human aspect to it is still going to be the thing that is of value. Is Heather here? She is. Lovins to you, Heather. It's nice having you here, friend. Be patiently waiting for the. My week has been so hectic, so I'ma safely lurk and drive to the cafe to get an affogato, a shot of espresso over ice cream. Hot damn. Shimon. I don't know why Michael Jackson has been in my brain as of late. Stop it, Michael Jackson's ghost. Accept your death. Oh, Shimon. No, stop it. Is that insensitive? God, am I not allowed to do stuff like that? I'm sorry. Oh, I've been waiting for that too, Joe. I was waiting for this meeting with my instructor so I can use the feedback she has for me to put into practice. AI is going to change my job a lot in the next few years, but I know they'll still need me. You will still be the thing of value. AI is just going to be the donkey, right? It's going to be the workhorse. It's going to be the vehicle for your genius, right? Like, we don't have any gripes with using a car to drive somewhere, right? Like, we're not going to tell a person, oh, you drove here with your car? Disgusting. Driving with cars and stuff. What's next? Using a kettle to boil your water? You don't beat your water into being boiled? You lazy, stupid human being. No, no, it's a vehicle for your genius, right? Like, that was like a super basic prompt as well, and yet still. Mm, that's nice. I haven't used your remedy today. I just realized. Mm-mm-mm. I've been waiting. Gosh, shine me up, Jovan. Ceremony of closing for my art exhibit. Ah, that does change it a little bit, but still, I can reprompt that AI, and it's gonna give me an even more relevant, little fractal. Yeah. Howdy, y'all. Again, Connor. It's nice having you. How are you doing, dude? Tell us. I have some marijuana and a piece of technology in my hand here. Love you. My intention for today is momentum. Momentum. Infinite potential. Exponential. Momentum. Yeah, got some powers now. It's like Mab Lips. Just fill in the relevant parts and go. Exactly. Been better. Just trying to keep up. How are you, Joy? Thank you for asking as well. I appreciate that, Connor. I love Mad Libs so much when I was a tiny child. I don't think I know what Mad Libs is. Hey Google, what is Mad Libs? Mad Libs. Mad Libs is software. Ah, it's like dubbing. I see. They play music and then you apparently. I guess. Ben better. Goodness. Nah, sounds like a robot. Still sounds like a robot. I think people would know it's not me. Susanna, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, you get like the base, you get the momentum, and then you add your flavor, you add yourself, your soul into that whatever it is. You don't have to take it just one for one. It just helps, right? You can even have it generate a base fractal of like a speech, and then you can not use any of it, and you can write your own next to it. Or if you want to make it a little bit more you as well, you can just ask it, can you give me a really good structure, right? Can you give me a point by point structure as to how I'm supposed to write a closing speech? And then it will give you points that you can write off of instead of having to go for the full thing. Pretty good. I'm happy to hear that, Joy. I will only take the second last part. You take it, take all of it. And like, just try, right? I don't know if you've ever tried to play with those tools. Just see what they can do. I feel like it's almost like educating yourself so that you're not caught off guard with what's coming over the next few years. I could tell, you could tell, it to sound more casual, you can. You can be like, this sounds a little bit too direct. Hey, yeah, thank you for the bear. I appreciate you manifesting abundance onto the farm, right? Every single time I see you friends donating anything, like some of your friends have sent me books, some of your friends have sent me scarves. I have a stick coming from you friends as well. You friends have manifested abundance, and that abundance has helped us buy microphones. This stand holding up my cell phone right now. This was sent to me by, I'm not forgetting her name. Her name is Jem. I was just remembering her full name. Woman in a van. Jem. Jem sent me this from London, right? Like I'm a dude sitting on a farm somewhere, and you friends have influenced my life. Thank you, Uncle Becky, for influencing mine. I appreciate it so much. How are you feeling by the bear? Are you still working such hectic hours? Are you getting enough rest? Do let us know. Talking about momentum today, about the exponential momentum we're building towards the lives we want to live, and how AI is going to be a massive part of that. Half a day of school here, so only have a 2 hour break. I hope you make the most of that 2 hour break. I'm sorry that you don't get the whole day. Either. That's summer casual. I asked ChatGPT, what makes gardening awesome? It sounded like it was in my tone. It was perfect, right? It's kind of trippy, and you can like start. You can preface it by being like, I am a hippie. I smoke weed. I believe that we're all one, and that we all live in a state of unity, but we've forgotten because forgetting allows us to be egos, and being an ego is like you can do that and then ask it to write you something. And then it's going to take that bit into context in writing something for you. It is surreal. It is so surreal. There's power. There's so much power. AI is just another tool, exactly. Yet it's the most important thing ever created. It's the last thing we're going to need to create, all right? AGI. You are the AGI, an artificial general intelligence. Or maybe we should call you an NGI, a natural general intelligence. And you're building momentum onto that intelligence as well, right? That's the crazy thing. That your intelligence grows, or at least your wisdom does. Maybe not your intelligence, but your data points, the amount of information you get to consider when you're making decisions is growing alongside you. I'm striking out streak this week. I'm in a striking out streak this week. The cafe was closed. Weirdly enough, Jovan, I was like thinking to myself for a second there, but I wasn't gonna say it. But now that that happened, I feel like I should, only because it's synchronous. I was like thinking, espresso and ice cream sounds great, and I was sure you don't do it every day, but I don't know if it's good to start your day that way, right? Knowing that you don't, knowing you're probably just gonna treat yourself, and then the fact that the universe was like, nah, you're fine. No espresso and ice cream for you first thing in the morning. It's just like trippy even. Why is Mel shouting into his vape? The vape, I could, so once you reach a certain threshold of volume, material things start to tangibly vibrate. So if I only speak like this, it's still kind of vibrating. But if I reach a little bit more, like, oh, now I can feel the actual thing vibrate alongside my voice. And that is why we speak to our things, right? To input those vibrations. Can AI babysit? Must research must be done. Heather, I saw on a Lego, I think it's something like that, on a Lego video of a droid, like a babysitter droid. And this is now obviously not gonna happen because our image recognition tech has matured way past like this limitation. But this was a imagination of a babysitter droid taking care of a baby and tasked to cook a chicken dinner for the family. When they return home, the chicken dinner should be ready. And then it shows this droid working beautifully, going from task to task, making sure the child is taken care of, going into the room, playing music, etc., cooking food, see the whole process going down. And then the video ends with like panning over the baby bed, and there is a chicken in the baby bed, right? Very, very explicit, but very not directly in your face explicit. And yeah, so even though I don't think that will ever happen, maybe we should just wait a little bit before we task robots to take care of our children. I feel the child rearing, child caring role needs to remain a human one. I think education, right? You can consider child rearing or child caring as education as well. I think education should be given to the AI because it's going to be like having an infinity Einstein as your teacher on any subject you can imagine for every single student, right? That is an exponential leap in how we educate people. Usually, only the rich could afford private tutors. Now, anybody with a computer and an internet connection can access ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is still in its infant state, like it's like baby wheels AI, right? We're heading into the twilight zone. I don't actually know what that means. Hey Google, define what it means when people say twilight zone. I think it's having a seizure. It's like almost there. There we go. Twilight zone, a situation or conceptual area that is characterized by being undefined, intermediate, or mysterious. Yeah, yeah, we're heading into the twilight zone, right? Everything is mysterious when nobody knows what the hell's going on. What, what the hell's going on? Grace Hand, can you tell me what's happening right now? What's ever, what's happening? Sending you love, friend. It's nice having you here. Man, I feel like I'm falling a little bit behind. Let me get to it. Striking. I'm gonna have to send you reminders to remedy melt. Please do, maybe. Like it's just not a part of my fractal just yet. We already stick an iPad in baby's face, so probably not too far off. Yeah, at least like an AI is going to have some inkling of personality. We'll be able to talk to our children at least, maybe even intelligently so. But then there comes the whole misinformation and the control thereof. Let's not even get into that. Had a bunch of conversations like that this weekend. People are so scared of being manipulated, right? Terrified of it. And yet, they don't realize they manipulate themselves. All of these people that are so terrified of this coming AI revolution, this potentiality slash reality that we're going to be embracing of brain computer implants, brain computer interface implants. It's gonna be a wacky twilight zone future we're heading into, right? And yet, people are terrified of being controlled, and it's so obvious that they already are, right? It's like it's oh man, and this feels wrong to say, and I might be completely wrong, right? This might just be my own ignorant in the same perspective, being my own version of controlled, watching something else and seeing how it's controlled differently, and then right. So I'm aware of that, but all of the people that I had conversations with were like devout Christians, you know, and every single time I try to get to an answer as to why it is they believe what they believe, almost unanimously, all of them answered that they consider themselves evil, right? Dirty, needing of saving. And to me, that is mind control, right? To me, seeing someone believe that, I'm like, where did you learn that? Right? Who told you? Who told you over and over to the point of belief that you are dirty and need to be washed, right? As like base, as like the reasoning behind what you believe. Like that hurt it hurts, it still hurts me to hear people say that. And to me that's mind control. And then there's the mind control of you getting hungry, right? You wanting to drink water. Is that mind control? Right? Your mind is like the clouds. Sure, you can control the clouds. You can seed, salt water in the clouds and make the clouds fall. But controlling the clouds is not something that is going to be tangible, right? A billion years from now, I don't know if people or other beings would be able to tell we control the clouds. Like a billion years from now, would we be able to tell whether our minds are controlled or not? Right? And then right from the base is what makes you think that you have any control at all, ever. Right? Starting from something as simple as your need to eat. Realizing that the people who have held power generation after generation after generation, knowing that we are controlled by our need to eat, our need for shelter, our need to drink water, our need to have community, right? Social connection. And then learning how to use these needs, these human needs, to mind control us, right? are you are you working for a salary day after day out of your own volition because that's what you want to do? Or are you doing it because you're supposed to do it, right? And then again, we come back to who told you you're supposed to do that? Look at Pippi, like just like look at this being, like that. That to me is her teaching me how to live. Like she's just laying in the grass, ants occasionally walking over her, laying next to a body, a somebody, a me as a somebody, and then that body reaching out and being like, "Ay, keys. Hey, Dan, it's nice having you. Our bearded patriot himself, Uncle Becker's here too. It's so cool having you, friend. So chill. Have you seen a being that chill? Little teacher. Yeah. Yeah. Right? And nobody had to tell her. Nobody had to teach her. Nobody has to mind control her into realizing the truth of her being. And yet, for some reason, we seem to be very much under a spell within the illusion, right? Some people call it the matrix. There's so many like, and the people that call it the matrix are the ones touting the matrix the hardest, right? It's like, yeah, there's a matrix, but you have to break out of the matrix, but also you have to exploit the matrix, and also the matrix is out to get you, and also this matrix. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of steps to convince yourself how not mind controlled you are right now. Ah, man, I'm trying to control my mind. Think about California. Yeah, wow, cool, California, nice. Think about Japan. Hmm, Japan, nice. Wow. Think about Jupiter. That's big. Think about Jupiter's moons. Yeah. Think about that water on one of those moons. Think about what lives in those waters. Hmm. Your mind wants to be controlled. That's the joke of it, right? And you get to build momentum in what direction your mind is controlled. Well, how you control your mind builds momentum into being controlled in that way, right? If you control your mind with fear thinking, lack thinking, anger thinking, outrage thinking, then it's easier for you to go back into that pathway because that's where you have momentum. It's what you're already doing, to say it in so many ways, right? And then the opposite of it is love, unity, awareness of being, ultimately, right? that you can think about your awareness of being. Think about thinking to the point where there's only thoughts to be thought, right? You can be in that loop. And then there's something beyond that. The one that just pays attention to this going on. And that momentum remains always. It is infinite, after all. As Siri will play Map Libs with you. She will. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Why? Babe, I'm having one of those mornings, Joe. Sending you love, Shan. I'm sorry to hear that. Your friends are still sharing so much love with me, even if that's the case. I will ask you for a noun, a verb, a color, a plural noun, an adjective, etc. And then it fits those words into a pre written story. I mean, Louisiana, the thing that's coming to my mind is instead of AI taking your job, take AI's job, right? Let AI do the job for you. And then you can scale what you do. You can cut down on the time investment significantly. Being able to do more of what you want to do for people with less effort. Right? And this is one of those things where for some reason people like effort. Right? Like there's some sort of button that gets pressed in our brains when we see a thumbnail. I spent 160 hours drawing this thing, and it's a person painstakingly drawing an ultra realistic water droplet falling over a person's face in pencil. And my brain is like, how the fuck? How is it even possible for a human being with a pencil to make something the scale of 2 meters by 2 meters, like 6 feet by 6 feet, simulate water with only gray, right? Like, and yet, if a person invests enough momentum, right, in doing that, then they can. And I feel now we get to invest the momentum, right? Like, okay, so this is the way I'm seeing it. For the longest time, you had to spend all of this time building momentum in order to have that exponential curve where you become a professional, right? Like, that's how I'm seeing it. So, I want to be, and I do want to be an artist, right? And I am practicing drawing, but I'm not seeing it as something I want to be the best in the world at, right? I'm not seeing it as something so important to me that I need to be spending multiple hours on it every single day, right? For me, for my fractal. But if I did that, there will be this curve where I'll feel kind of stuck because I'm only incrementally improving in skill. Oh, little by little by little by little by little by little by little. Am I scaring you with the little by little by little by little? So I seem to be right. 50 chillax. It's not that bad. I know it pisses me off as well that it takes so long, but then eventually you hit a point in your process where you go exponential, right? You transcend a level and you go to the next level. And now, this is how I'm seeing it. AI generated imagery, and I'm not telling you to let go of your imagination. In fact, I feel it's even more important these days for us to meditate, to be mindful, breath work, yoga, and to imagine, right, positive futures for ourselves, to keep our imagination alive. That part of us needs to remain. That part of us can be considered God, right? But now that imagination, instead of having to have all of this momentum of you putting in hour after hour after hour, learning how to draw, you can take that imagination and instantly get that exponential momentum. That's the way I see AI, right? And you can argue that that is exactly why it's a bad thing, because now people don't get to learn how to spend the time every day getting good at something. Yeah. But I am a believer of showing up for what you love, and that being your body, your art, and then your craft, right? My craft is speaking. My body is yoga, and my art is my flowers. And all of us can make art of our own, can have a craft of our own, and can take care of our body for ourselves. And I feel that's going to be where our attention shifts into the future. That's what we need to be building momentum on, because those are the things we're going to be doing every day, regardless. Your life is a work of art. Your body is your paintbrush. The infinite world is the canvas, right? And then you get to, as you're taking care of this body, have your purpose, have your craft, and your craft generates art, beauty into the world. And those are the things we need to be giving momentum to, right? Getting better and better and better and better at every day. And I feel AI is going to take a lot of the other stuff away. That's true. Washing your clothing, washing your dishes, cleaning your floors, you know, those things, even though they are important to gain momentum in, if you will. For instance, if you never clean the floors as a child and into your teens and when you live in your own place, then it's exponentially harder for you to do that when you know you need to, right? Because there's inertia. There is no momentum to overcome that inertia. But when you know in your heart that this is something that needs to be done right now, right? Right now, this needs to be done. And then you get up and you do it. That's momentum. And as I mentioned, it could be a bad thing in some context if the robots always take care of these things that we should be building momentum in. But, but I feel momentum transfers interdisciplinarily. In other words, if you gain momentum in one aspect of your life, you inadvertently gain momentum in all others as well. And I might be wrong about this, so do at me, but I believe it because I've seen it. The more you apply momentum to the things that you feel have value in your life, the more all of the other parts of your life have momentum as well. Hey, Glory. Hey, Queen Medusa. Hey, Sandy. I know none of your friends are here, but I love you anyway, and I want to say your names. Sometimes I feel as though I chose to make memories rather than sacrifice those memories for my future career. Will I regret having fun? Um, it depends on what having fun means to you, right? The thing that's coming to my mind is if having fun, those words means drinking with friends, then yes, you will regret it, right? Because you can have fun without drinking. And we know drinking is not good for you. And we know it's expensive. And we know it makes your body feel like shit. And we know it makes you gain weight. And we know it's an actual toxin that dissolves your insides. So your body does everything in its power to drop all other functions to try and make sure that this doesn't happen. So in that case, I feel maybe reevaluate what having fun means to you and see it as something that you can build momentum on, right? Again, in this context of if the only way for me to have fun, and this is like I'm not speaking directly as like an attack. I'm saying it very much from looking at my family. Unfortunately, my family really likes having these get-togethers, for birthday parties, Christmases, and then there's an excessive amount of drinking happening, right? And it's very much this. I can see this fractal of there's so much momentum built into it. Of when we have fun, we drink, right? And it's almost like they cannot be separated. And I don't know if that's the way we want to see our lives go, right? 50 years from now, do we still want to be only drinking in order to have fun, right? That's the only way for us to have fun. I can't see it, right? My idea of 50 years from now, I feel drinking is probably going to be outlawed. It's like, yeah, that shit is bad for you, right? And unfortunately, during those times, the medical industry was privatized or, completely steeped in insurance fraud to the point where They wanted people to get sick because it would mean they sold more drugs and they had more people that they would service, right? Yeah, now living in a society where everybody is taken care of, we don't really tolerate people putting actual poison in their bodies because we know it's bad for them, right? I'm sorry, I'm being a little spicy. I know. It boggles my mind that we're doing it to ourselves at this point. And yet, that's brain control, right? Mind control. That we have been mind controlled into believing that drinking alcohol is culturally acceptable. Like in comparison to all, and look at me, right? All our other drugs. Okay, maybe not fentanyl and heroin stuff like that. Actually, still technically, yeah, still technically. I mean, if you could do it moderately, that's the real problem, right? Because it's almost impossible to do that moderately because of the strength and dosage. I'm divulging too much information. Getting back to alcohol. If the FDA had to go through the process of trying to approve a drug for public use, you know, alcohol wouldn't even get close to passing FDA regulations of how safe a substance has to be before we have to put it into our bodies. Mushrooms, LSD, DMT, MDMA, even, all of those would pass with flying colors in comparison to alcohol and the way that we consume it. And yet, it's normal, right? We have built so much momentum as a society into the consumption of alcohol that it's just how it is. It's normal to do that. It's not normal to eat mushrooms and run around in a forest looking at trees. No, no, that's weird. We don't tolerate them kinds here. I'm sorry. I'm just leaning into a fractal at this point. But yeah, right. Where do we want to see our momentum continue? There's this conversation we had this weekend because fortunately there was still a group of people who would rather smoke weed than drink. I didn't even take any of my weed, and other people had weed there as well. I was like, Yassi, this is nice. I'm usually the one that brings weed. So we were smoking a joint together, and there was this conversation shared where if you have 100 people that don't necessarily get along well in a room, and you let them smoke joints together, they'll probably walk out there with groups of friends they never knew they could have. Versus if you have 100 people who dislike each other and you give them alcohol, someone is getting killed. One of them is gonna get killed probably in that kerfuffle, right? And just that as a mentality of momentum, right? Which do we want? Which do we want? Have fun, Connor. Don't neglect your responsibilities. There we go. I agree completely. Thank you, Siobhan, for sharing that. But don't. I just went back to the office. I'm okay about the morning treat. I didn't realize. I didn't really need it. I just really wanted it. Like this is the thing that I'm feeling for you right now, Siobhan. It's because they did a study about dopamine, right? Where they had like two groups of kids. One group of kids, they would drive, having told them they're going on a drive to go and get ice cream. And then the ice cream place was closed by design, right? So they were driving for X period of time, knowing we're going to the ice cream place. And then they got to the ice cream place and then it was closed, right? That group of kids was significantly more distressed than the group of kids who were on a ride and then when they were like close to the ice cream place, like they could see a billboard or something, they told them, we're gonna go and get some ice cream, and then took them that route, right? So the wait period was significantly shorter. Those kids were less distressed than the kids who knew for the whole ride, right? So that's what I'm feeling for you, is that you knew for your whole ride what you wanted to get, and I feel that generates more suffering than the actual not getting it, right? The wanting it and knowing that you don't need it, and then not getting it is the real pain. I'm consumed with AI currently, still working crazy hours. You got this, dude. We're building a new The world is changing, Uncle Becky. I believe in you. It's just a matter of time at this point. I feel that joy. It's a tough balance. Damn, AI is the last thing humans will ever create, pretty much. I used to craft a world class resume for an engineering manager position of a fully automated emergency water deployment company for wildfires. I used to craft? That's a very niche down fractal, actually. Don't you have to pay to use the AIs? Nope. Not ChatGPT. It's completely free still. You can pay to get it to be faster, but that version that I just read for you, that was completely free. 100% though. Don't you have to pay? I've been consumed with AI. So, and then our there's like other AI models as well, like Midjourney. Midjourney, to the friends that donate on Patreon, $11 and up, they get access to a Midjourney subscription on the Discord as well, so they can play around. You have access to those tools as well, and that version is paid, Susanna, but you can have access to that. Robots versus human gonna be wild. I don't think it's gonna be a versus. I think it's gonna be a co-creation. Chicken in the baby bed. Yep. It's a little bit brutal, right? I worked amazing for my resume. Suddenly hiring the robot wants to eat the baby. No, the robot just followed the instructions for cooking a chicken using a baby, and then followed the instructions for putting a baby to sleep using the chicken. Did its job perfectly. Just no, not exactly. Well, I was listening to the babysitting story. It sounds promising, and then the chicken in the bed ending got me like, no, 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 no. Yeah, that's like what my mind went to, unfortunately. And that's what I mean when I say brain damage to you, friends, right? Because now I watch something on the internet, having that little bit of information in the back of my brain, noticing a fractal in the outside world, and then it influences the way that I respond to it, right? A type of brain damage, a brain control, mind control, whatever you want to call it. Because even though, yes, I guess in theory that is a possible, reality, it is so unlikely, like infinitely unlikely, especially with where our tech is right now. And our tech is only going to improve way past where it is right now by the time we're going to allow them into our houses and stuff, right? So, yeah, don't let yourself get too brain damaged by the internet, friends. I'm serious. Like, what I mean by that is, again, momentum, right? The content you watch day after day after day creates a certain momentum in your neurons of what you expect of the world, right? So if you expose yourself to content that inspires your soul, you're gaining momentum to have your soul inspired, vice versa. If you're seeing stuff that makes you fear for humanity's hope, then that's going to be what you expect when you see a situation as well. Any situation. We can integrate into everything. I saw people using our food VPC video game characters. Those words do not make sense to me in combination. NPC, food, NPC food, non-participating or non-playable character video game characters. My brain is getting melted. Rod Sterling is rolling over in his grave 100%. That tripped me out, Melt. I'm sorry, Graceanne. Like, it felt like what I needed to do in that moment. Lolo's here too, sending you love, friend. It's nice having you here. I hope you're doing well. Guess that's no Thanksgiving Day Twilight Zone marathons in South Africa. No, no, there's no such thing. Twilight Zone is one of my favorite shows. I felt targeted. No, you're just loved and seen. Seeing you, Grace. Seeing you all. You seeing me. Me being seen by you is you seeing yourself, because all I am is a mirror to what you are, which means you seeing me is me seeing you. Right? If you have seen an episode of Twilight Zone, I highly recommend the old one. Maybe I should watch one, just so I understand. I have a super B ability to describe events and stories in a way that so you have a super B ability to describe events and stories in a way that is so accurately sets the scene. Me? Heather? Thank you. I am practicing. Am I getting better, friends? Type in chat. Good job. It's good for my code. My code is gonna get like bonus points, right? And that's, I'm saying good job specifically because of the whiplash comment. that the most destructive words you can say to a person is "good job." I was like, bro, who hurt you? Who hurt you? How did you get so hurt, dude? Yassi. Man, the sun is. I'm a fire my razor on my devices. They're not too hot, at least. You see, extensions of me that I can literally feel empathy for my technological devices being like, please stay cold. If you haven't seen an episode, we also have Sentinel 2, real time satellite imagery in full resolution for crowd sourced emergency response to help save people. Is this your current place that you're working at, Uncle Becky? That's what I'm feeling right now, but I might be wrong because it sounds sick, dude. We all have evil within. I think we're all capable of evil, right? As much as we're capable of love. And what we choose to do over and over again is where we gain momentum, right? If you choose to over and over again commit evil acts, then it's going to get easier and easier and easier for you to do so. And the same is true for love, right? So I'm not denying that evil acts are, possible. All I'm saying is that we get to choose, and our momentum becomes exponential. We only get better at the things we choose to do, right? We all have evil within, but we are capable of love and forgiveness. Agreed. When I'm dirty, I just take a shower. Agreed, Connor. Control is an illusion. Exactly. I think you missed something, Melt. Me? Twilight Zone is one of my favorite shows. Subtly hinting the robot wants to eat the baby. No, no, no. I don't think the robot wants to eat the baby. I just think the baby was kind of like a casualty of uh, mis misconstrued code. I think that was the point, that mistakes can be made, and if it's your baby on the line, you don't want mistakes like that made, right? It's like the extreme of what happens if the AI makes a mistake for a coding error, not maliciously, not because it wants to be evil or anything, but simply because it makes a mistake and then ends up killing your child, right? That's, I feel, what the lesson in that story was. Is like, be careful. Be careful. Don't trust it too much. Trust it to the point that you're okay with getting hurt, maybe, right? Like, it's okay if, like I'm not even gonna finish that sentence because there's no way for me to clearly say what is okay. But I don't know that I would be okay with having my child taken care of a robot. And that's the joke as well with people, right? A person can end up killing your child as well by making a mistake. So, yeah, who knows? I guess it'll come down to statistics at the end of the day, right? Oh, well, 99.999% of the time, people's kids didn't get killed. Are you willing to take that risk? Right? That 0.0001% of risk. And then realizing you're taking that risk just by waking up every morning, going outside, getting in a car, going to your job, even more so. But yeah, let me know what I missed. I'm sorry, Susanna. I'm off to bed. Good night. Sleep well, Brother Bear. I hope you stay hydrated as well before you go to bed. Good morning again, Brother Dan. It's nice having you. If society created the norm, but constantly show chaos, that chaos becomes the norm. Exactly. So anything other than scary, dirty, or chaotic would feel uncomfortable. That is where we are right now, right? And I feel it's going to be up to you and me to remind people that love is true, right? Yeah, all of this chaos, right? But there is one theme in this infinite chaos that is a true, the story of love, right? Are you alive right now? Yes? Then you were probably loved, at least at some point in your life. Loved by a parent, loved by a caretaker, loved by the world to provide oxygen, water for you to drink, food for you to eat, loved by God to be created in the first place, right? Like so many layers of love just for you to exist in this moment. It is almost, it's too absurd to ignore, but we can. We're doing it right now. We're like, nah, love isn't true. Look at how much suffer. Look at how much no love true. There are a lot more not so smart people melt. I'm not trying to be mean, but sometimes it's best to look out for number one. I hear you, Susanna, but every one of us are number one, right? So if number one, from my context, is at least taken care of enough for me to not need my needs, if that makes any sense, right? Then I'm in the position to start taking care of others. And I feel our roles as people need to be solve the problem of making sure people have their needs met, right? Because if more of us are stable little pyramids, right? Is it Maslow's hierarchy of needs? More of us are stable little pyramids. If we have our basis, set, then more of us can self-actualize and actually contribute in a way to this world that is going to be exponential, right? A little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, and then suddenly all of it, all of the exponential you have, exponential potential you have. Do you control your breath? Do you control your heartbeat? Do you control the blood coursing through your veins? Sometimes you can control your breath. Sometimes you can slow down your heartbeat. But it's also one of those things where taking control of them is only done as like a balancing effect, right? Like those things that are a part of you. Like just I like to think of like my digestive system when I think about that type of control you're talking about, right? Like for me to try and think about what I would have to do to control my own digestive system is so far beyond me that I can't even picture it. And that's part of me, right? That is just within this small little contained package of self. So breath is like kind of allowing you to feel some inkling of control and then realizing that it goes out infinitely, right? In every single direction. It can make you feel kind of lost. And then people are like, the mind control thing. I can't even. I listened to a series that said that chaos can actually be seen as a good thing, like a caterpillar. When it goes into a cocoon, inside the cocoon is chaos. But it's necessary for it to become a butterfly. Exactly. It literally gets melted into goo. And then it as in like reconstitutes itself into a butterfly after that. The crazy thing to me, Shan, is the fact that they remember their previous life, right? Like their brains, their actual brain gets melted into goo and they remember things from their previous existence. And the way that we determine this is by exposing caterpillars to a certain chemical scent that they have the sensors to pick up, and then administering a low voltage electric shock, right? Enough to hurt them, but not enough to kill them. And then expose them to the scent, administer the shock, expose them to the scent, administer the shock. And then the scientists let the caterpillar go through its process of cocooning itself, melting itself down, and then emerging as a butterfly. And then when the butterflies were exposed to that same scent, they still had these reactions of stress, right? Trying to get away from the scent. Because from their previous lives, they remembered the electric pulse, the stimulus that is associated with it. Like we don't even know the first of it. DNA is crazy. Your ancestors are brain damaging you right now. I'm sorry for saying it like that, but mind controlling you, right? Chaos is a ladder. I haven't heard that one before. A person is smart, people are dumb, panicky animals. That's a good one. Makes sense. In chaos lies opportunities. This is true. Chaos is our interpretation of it, is a result of the limited understanding. Chaos, like magic, is simply a placeholder term for systems of organizations that we have yet to discover. Oh, I like that. Yeah. 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 It's just because we don't have the big enough picture, right? What we what we consider chaos from this small little perspective makes perfect sense, right? And it's easy for you to conceptualize this. The way you can think of it is you as a person standing on Earth. Maybe there's a massive storm over you, and there's like, and the trees are like, and you can hear the roofs cracking. That feels to you in that moment like chaos. But if you zoomed out and you look at the earth like a big little ball in your field of vision, and you see these storms, that isn't going to look chaotic to you, is it? It's going to look like a nice organized set of, converging energy to the midpoint. And you're going to be like, huh, yeah. Yeah. But on the surface of the earth, having that massive, energetic structure above your head, it feels like. Yeah. And now, if you have the infinite perspective, right? Not only little Earth looking at a storm, but the actual infinite, inconceivable multiverse stacking on top of itself universe, right? Your perspective is going to be like, yeah, there is no chaos. There is infinity and everything within that infinite set. Actually, everything, right? A reality where me and you are cartoon characters right now. Yeah, yeah, that too. That too. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's absolutely right, Mel. I've been learning to make technologies work for me and do some of the time consuming grunt work so I can spend more of my energy finessing. Exactly. That's what I'm encouraging. Big brain Sam again, right? I'm feeling it. As an artist, I love experiencing the most wild time in human history. Helps my work, facts, Sam, on a different wavelength. I feel it. Some high ups in society knew that chaos like trauma can become addictive. If the layman is not aware of that, then they are already in the trap. Exactly. And we get traumatized in very nuanced ways, right? That you have been traumatized by beauty standards, for example. Yeah, just let that sink in. Like, for the longest time, we only had access to a small community of people, and we didn't have access to mirrors. We could only see people, from our perspective. Maybe we could see ourselves in a still body of water if we're lucky, right? Long before we had metals, something to polish. And then that's the world we evolved for, right? That's the world we lived in for for hundreds of thousands of years, looking at people's faces, looking at a small set of people's faces in our entire lives. Sure, maybe forming some sort of standard for what we consider beautiful, but we never applied that fractal onto ourselves, right? And now we have access through these devices to the most beautiful people in the world. And the most beautiful people in the world are the ones that are the most successful on these platforms, meaning it is at the same time traumatizing us to this fractal of the only way to be successful is to be beautiful, right? And then that opens a whole, again, this brain damage, mind control industry for name it, right? Be more beautiful, exercise. Like, and I'm aware of this as well because a part of me wants to go into that world, but I want to make exercise something that is actually enjoyable. And as I've told you friends as well, exercise shouldn't be something that you chase for aesthetics. It should be something you do to feel better, right? Just on a fundamental mobility, your access to your own life, right? Without being able to see yourself, right? The stuff you feel as a sensory experience, like this, the seeing yourself as yourself moving, right? Like you can like see on the inside. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Okay, right? You can reach your arm out, and even though your eyes are closed, you have a certain understanding of where your arm is in space, right? How far out it is. If you were, like, for instance, walking with your eyes closed or in a dark room, you extend your arms out. And then you can kind of like have this sense of getting closer to things and then touching it. You can have in your mind's eye, oh, there's a table somewhere here. And then you start reaching in that general direction because you can feel the inside of your own body as well, right? And your body knows. It knows how fit you are. It knows how easy it is for you to get up from a chair. It knows how easy it is for you to get out of bed. It knows how easy it is for you to bend down and pick up your soap if it drops onto the ground. It knows. It knows. And I feel exercise should be to remind your body that it's okay, that it's strong, that it's capable of doing these things, that it likes to. do these things instead of, creating a story of resistance, right? The momentum of I'm a person that moves instead of, oh, I don't want to be moving, you know. Oh man, my brain is exploding. Zano, this is the species that regularly partakes in recreational liver damage. We do it because we like it. There we go. Yeah. I think we do it because we like it, one, but we also do it because we think it's the only thing that's acceptable, right? We also like eating mushrooms, and we like taking LSD, and we like taking MDMA. And I don't know if we should do it as much. We shouldn't even be drinking alcohol as much as we are right now. We like smoking weed, right? And I feel I would rather see a society that smokes weed versus drinking alcohol as excessively as we do right now, right? I feel like that would be a net win for the human health. It wouldn't be exponent. It will. I think it will be exponentially better, but lung damage of smoke can still be a thing. We can eat edibles instead, right? I feel that would be better for the world, but it's not acceptable. It's not something we have momentum in right now, so we don't do it that way, right? I feel that's the problem. Is that sure we like it, but we also don't know that there are other things to like in that context because we've been brain damaged. Just say no to drugs. This is your brain on drugs, right? Oh, this person took drugs and then jumped out of a window. I'm pretty sure there are people who drank alcohol and jumped out of a window as well. Maybe even more. Maybe some, but like it. But it's also a survival method to numb the mind to deal with your unhappy days. Coping mechanisms as a symptom of the control. Exactly. And then you live a life so in pain that you literally need to cope, right? And then there are companies more than willing to exploit that need of yours, right? Again, mind control, more mind control. Televised daily news is packaged chaos. There we go. I want to know if that birdie is agreeing and cheering Melt on, or is he calling BS in disagreement? Either way, I appreciate his little input. That's a queer fool. They say queer, but sometimes they say other things as well. They're like the parrots, the wild parrots here in South Africa. People still watch news on the TV. Please stop. Girls used to be Birds used to be dinosaurs, Heather. If you're saying anything, it's spiteful and derogatory. Apparently, Sam, the dinosaurs had a complex social structures, right? The dinosaurs had babysitters. I think one of your friends donated. Yeah, brother Dan. My favorite expression, the meltdown moments. Yeah. Allow yourself to melt down sometimes and then melt more, right? It's like, okay, meltdown done. Let's go and melt some more. Oh man, I feel like I'm falling behind, but I want to read all of the comments. Rambler agrees. Does he smell like teen spirit? Do you think all generations might think that there is a time that the most wild tunes all got burned at the stake? Yeah, that's probably more wild than what we're going through right now. I feel our children are going to be in a little bit of a shock, you know, with the way we treat people right now. Like what's the thing that I'm gonna think is going to bring the most shock to future generations? Cars. The fact that they allow us, human beings, to drive cars right now. I think that's gonna be one of those things where they're like, you did what? This thing we're sitting in right now, that is traveling at 120 kilometers per hour. You know, how much is that in miles? 80 miles per hour on a highway. And there's like people next to me traveling at the same speed. You're you're telling me that human beings with front-facing eyes and arms used to steer these things. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of them on the same road. Excuse me, what? Excuse me, what? You did what now? Dad, what? Why would you do that, Dad? Because we had to go to work. You had to do what? Yeah, they were forcing us to go to these offices. What the? Yeah. And then we would do remote work. Remotely. What? What? Right? Just think about that most office work right now is you going to a remote location to do remote work. Isn't that absurd? I know AI is coming. Oh goodness, it's gonna take so much work away. Melt, how did you figure out that you can talk to yourself for hours on end? Uh, friends, JV, friends, friends. I guess I realized that speaking is what I'm supposed to be doing. All right, in so many ways. I also like listening. I do. I really do. And listening, that's why I read your friends' comments, right? That's listening to me. It's like receiving the energy you friends share. And then it inspires me, right, to say something. And then that's how we co create these moments over and over again. Do you think old generations, yeah, again, the wild comment, inner dialogue, it's not our own, hydrate. Please do, Nancy. Drink enough water, friend. As a kid, lived in town, question, so you're there. Grew up in the country. Insane. When I have conversations with myself, you are insane, Connor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be diagnosed, though. I am totally. I can't say that even. I was gonna say I'm totally a medical professional, and I was like, can I get sued for saying that? I'm totally not a medical professional. Make a promise. As I talk to myself, beard, Melty seems to have reached expert mode. I'm just painfully aware that I am a persona, right? Like it's kind of surreal. Like I'm very aware of this part of me that's the observer, which I consider the divine part of me. And that part of me, because of its observations, gets to share things, right? And then the thing it is observing is my ego mind, the story I tell myself, right? The fractal that's happening inside of my brain, the fractal that's being generated. And then my persona is the version of me that's talking. And then sometimes my persona has to consult my ego, asking it whether or not something is okay to say. And usually things are, because I've gained momentum trying to say things that inspire instead of hurt, right? So it's like the awareness in me just has to be present. The ego is going to be generating a fractal of what's going on right now, telling itself a story. And then my persona is tasked with trying to share that story as it's happening. And I am the I am. It's just on a ride, experiencing it. It's like sick. I have my feet in grass right now, and I'm receiving that sensory information to my brain. I'm also thinking of it from the perspective of grounding, right? Because this is the foot that hurts. So I'm like putting it on the grass, believing that Mama Gaia is taking negative electrons from me. Is that how it works? Yeah, positively charging me with good vibrations, healing my foot right now. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Layers awareness of my foot on the ground having a story attached, that story being something I'm willing to share. My persona, you are the same thing I am. I just trip myself out about it. I'm paying too much attention to it. Like my I am is like, it's like all up in the face of my ego, man. Like, what are you doing? That's why when I like Kevin, stop. I grew up in the country. We were told it's fine to answer your own questions, but arguing with yourself might draw more attention. I hope I don't do the same. Sometimes I forget that tunes, especially if I watch the news. It makes me think that the world is more messed up these days. Exactly. Because that is what sensationalism does, right? They want you to feel, oh goodness, the world must be so messed up. I better go and check up on the news again and make sure it still is. Or maybe it's less messed up now. And then you go and check up on the news again, and then it's messed up, and then creates this. And then some people get addicted to that. Why? Why? Do you like it? Do you like it? No? Then stop building momentum like that. Aggressively positive here. My bad. Not Earth, but humanity. Earth will be fine. So fine, dude. I can't believe we made it all the way to the point where we can destroy humanity with a single button. Officer, I swear, my robot thought my baby was raw chicken, I would be rude not to eat. Oh, well, bro, that comment went so freaking left turn. Oh, yo. And actually talk about doing it. Oh, 60%. That'd be nice. As adults, do you feel slash see changes in your own mood to the point that it affects you? Can you think something is going to happen? Pizza for dinner, ice cream treat, and then it doesn't happen. Yeah, more often than not, actually. These days, it happens a lot, right? Where I don't get my way, in so many words. And these days, I'm just like, well, the other thing or person getting its way technically is still me. So if I really think about it, I am getting my way. And then I can feel good about it. I'm like, yeah, I can't lose. I can only win. Only good things happen to me. Manifest. We almost accidentally did Rambler. One Soviet soldier refused to press it because he believed it was a false alarm. He was right. Yeah, thank goodness. The concept that we're all mirrors will always have me in awe. I am tripped out. Yeah, Grace. It is trip. It's 100% a trip, right? Because you're seeing yourself. You're okay to make it a little bit more tangible. Every single word I say, every single concept that I try to elicit in your ego, right? In your little fractal of self, can only be experienced if it's already inside of you, right? I cannot elicit something out of nothing, right? I'm eliciting it out of your felt experience, which means that your felt experience of what I am expressing to you is a reflection of yourself, right? Even looking at my face, seeing yourself. Because sure, you're seeing my face, but also you're just recognizing patterns. You're recognizing eyes, using nose and a mouth, and ears and hands, right? Like I don't have anything other than what you have. And you're just inferring information from that fractal that you already have. Maybe I'm inspiring different, I'm connecting different nodes, right? But those nodes have to be in you for me to connect them, for me to melt them together. Yeah, yeah. Have to keep it brand relevant. I love that analogy. The mirroring of self, right? Eating sunflower seeds right now, most amount of work. That leads to round of reward. You're individually shelling sunflower seeds. That is insane. Are you squatting while you're doing it? Like unfortunately my brain has been damaged in that way as well. I see you with a bottle of compote, squatting with your Adidas pants, eating sunflower seeds right now. Bearded sunflower seeds though. I don't get disappointed anymore. I just set my expectations super low, and usually no one exceeds expectations. This is true. Set your expectations on love, right? And then instead of expecting it of others, be that love, right? That's how I've been trying to do it, where I expect at least love, and the only one that can take that love from me is me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna still be loving, even though I'm not getting it from the outside world right now. And then my expectation is still met at the end of my day. That is at least what has helped me. Raised hand saying, Connors, cartoons. It is something I've recently come to realize, especially that we're just consciousness experiencing itself from a specific perspective. Ah, exactly. Right. And that perspective is an infinite one as well. That even the trees are experiencing that same consciousness from a tree's perspective, the bird from that bird's perspective, the kitties and the doggos from the kitties and doggos perspective. And then again, right? Because it is perceiving a perspective, you get to make that perspective a loving one. You get to give your cat a nice little, petting with your foot instead of stepping on it, right? One, it's gonna be aware, right? The awareness won't stop you from doing one or the other, but the awareness will experience one or the other, and you get to choose which experience you induce, and it's you experiencing. So treat yourself well, you know, build momentum in treating yourself well. Loving yourself as other. Heather, I tend to shove those experiences to the side and try to forget about them. This week is one where they're piling up faster that I'm forgetting them. Like, I'm doing okay, but I feel like a shaken up soda, needing time to release pressure. Maybe just take 3 breaths with me. Expelling all of that pressure. One. I'm seeing things. Suddenly, even more silence. I saw a brick wall, and the bricks had little eyes in them. And then, as I started, the bricks in the middle fell away and crumbled. And instead of small little eyes, there was this massive eye, energetically and extending infinitely, piercing from behind this wall. And then every time I blew, like, the wall crumbled a little bit more. Sending you love, Jovan. I hope it feels better soon, friend. I'm sure it will. Forget the bad. Remember, love is true. Let me see. See if I can get a little more present. Your point remains. Love, 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 love. Connor saying, we all have an indistinguishable, inexhaustible, inextinguishable light within us. Darkness is just the absence of light. Yet, if you look into the darkness long enough, there will always be an ember of light. I like yours more than I like Nietzsche's. Of if you look into the darkness long enough, the darkness looks into you. I like that one as well, actually. But yeah, dude, darkness is only there to be overcome by light, right? The way that I articulate that understanding to myself is looking at this, right? This scene you're seeing right now. What do you notice? Okay, you've had an answer. Now I'm going to pose to you that in this scene, if we could have an infinity snapshot, right? A film going past here infinitely fast, and a super advanced AI model that can analyze everything in frame, right? Even down to like the microorganisms on the tree and stuff. There will be a billion death, billions and billions of things dying, insects getting eaten, birds falling to the ground and melting into the ground, animals and people coming past here, death on death on death on death on death. And yet, the thing that remains isn't death, it is life, right? In this moment, even though there's been billions of deaths in this frame over the infinity, what you see is life, right? That is momentum. That is crazy momentum. Life finds a way, friend. Find a way. You found the way. You are the way. I am outside prepping the rain barrels. It looks like we only have one storm for the next week, and I need all 120 gallons. The birds are not bad at all. Like that last sentence just threw me off. That's a lot of water, dude. I'm happy that you're using it. And I'm guessing because there's only one storm for the next week, it's not going to be enough water? Or are you emptying it because it's going to be too much water? So much love, friends. Love to you again, Rambler. Thank you for spending some time with us. It was nice having you. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Jovan, thank you for the kind words. Jovan said, Duck, you have been doing so much. I'm sorry you're feeling a little bit flat, but you're getting things diggity done. All while raising a little duckling, you take a moment to reflect and be proud of yourself. Yeah, I'm proud of you. Please do. I couldn't agree more. Right? Think about the momentum you've built. Everything that has happened up to this moment. You've done a lot, friend. You've done so much. And you'll do more. honor yourself for how much you've done up to this moment, because that momentum remains. Like, no matter how much you do, like if you only did 1% today and you did 100% yesterday, your momentum now after 2 days is still 101, right? You know what I'm saying. You can't fall behind. All you have to do is keep showing up, keep choosing love. Oh, I'm off. Love you, Heather. Must go. Must go get my little man off the bus soon. Have a great day. Share a smile with someone. Give a hug. We are love, and it's best when we share it. Love is the only thing you get more of when you share it. How about that? I love that one. Yeah. Love. Love, 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 love. Hang in there, Duck. Thank you, Connor, for the love. I know you know that you are loved and have the momentum to keep moving and have that momentum to keep moving. Like Isaac always says, we are already where we need to be. No need to worry. I just wish we could be there with him, helping him plant at least. I see Joel here too. Thank you for contributing to the momentum that we're sharing with the bear. I've been thinking about you a lot, dude. I know what you think when I frame this. I know that you know what I have been thinking about you about. But I'm not gonna talk about it unless you tell me about it. Because I'm living into the assumed reality that there's nothing to talk about anymore. Love you, dude. Sending you strength and good vibes. All held together by a paper thin social contract to be a maniac. Nani? It was a beautiful day. Cars are fun though. Oh yeah, cars are fun. All held together by a paper thin social contract to not be a maniac. Exactly. They are fun. Cars are fun. And they really allow a sense of freedom and power when you get in one, right? But they are dangerous. And the human being, whoa. I just heard like, oh, I think one still fell on me. I heard like 5 poops falling all around me. But the bird goes, this time I'm unscathed. Score. Less lucky, but less pooped on at least. All together. We have forward facing eyes because we're predators and not prey. This is true. I agree with that one. But what I mean with the forward facing eyes, with the driving thing, is the fact that driving is very much something that I believe if you want to do it perfectly, you need to be aware of every direction, right? Because there are things behind you, things to the side of you, things in front of you, right? In driving. So I feel the only being that is actually worthy of driving a car well is the car itself, having cameras on each of its axes, right? And that's just my personal opinion. I might be completely wrong, but it causes a deep sense of anxiety in me, for example, when I'm on the highway and I want to merge into the left lane to get off of the highway. And I have to like triple check my blind spot by slowing down and speeding back up to see if there's actually a car in my blind spot before I merge into the other lane. And my blind spot is the spot they would be in if I merge, and then I could potentially kill them, right? Like that just feels like a yikes, like a little bit of a yikes. So true joy. We are the apex predators, very much so. Our intelligence, right? Our intelligence is what made us the apex predators, and our ability to communicate that intelligence to each other. And that's what we're doing right now. I consider all of you friends very smart, right? Again, otherwise you wouldn't be able to understand me. Yeah, yeah. My ego is being like, yeah, that's right. We usurped. Are primates considered predators? Hey Google, are primates considered predators? Primates can be both predators and prey species. As predators, primates prey on plants and animals. So, technically, yes. Depends on which you believe you are, I guess. Are you predator or prey? All right. Which momentum do you want to build? And I believe we can be predatory in so many words in a beneficial way. I know that sounds super paradoxical, right? But I just feel in this current fractal I've unfortunately found myself in, I have to defend one side or the other. I don't see value in considering ourselves prey animals, right? Animals that are being preyed upon. But I also don't see values in predators that prey upon, right? So, if anything, maybe as a predator, our prey should be problems, right? And I feel it is already, right? Like we can be predatory with problems to the point where other people have problems and we instantly make it our own problems. So get them problems. Them problems better be looking out for themselves. We just went from pleasure to my need to cope with my environment. Mel has inspired me. I'm going to be streaming live on his YouTube in the grow room. Yeah. Please do, dude. Right? And it doesn't have to be something massive. Like it can just be a vector for more people to find what it is you do as well. Right? Like I'm thinking, I'm seeing this fractal, and thank you, Brother Duck, Dad, for doing that, dude. This fractal where you have a camera in your grow room, and you work with your plants, and then you have a website that you can, you know, I don't like the word, but funnel people to. And then they get to literally see you working on the food they get to eat, right? Like making it even more personal. You're not buying from a faceless corporation where you don't know who picked your food, right? You get to see Duck Dad literally picking the chilies that you get to cook in your dinner tonight. Isn't that sick? That's so sick of to me. Please, yeah, more encouragement. Go duck that. Do all of the things, bro. I know it's gonna be a whole process, but you got it. It won't allow my link. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Duck that farms on YouTube. I would love to chat with you all. Thank you, Brother Bear. Share it on the Discord as well. Like we have a notifications channel that pretty much goes unused these days because for some reason my Discord doesn't want to be linked to my YouTube channel on Zapier service that I've been using to post my links to at least my Reddit side. But yeah, thank you, Brother Bear, for being inspired. And I can inspire as much as I want to. It's only when you choose to apply the momentum that I'm trying to give you that we gain momentum together, right? Because I feel we can still gain momentum, mentally, but within this world, physical momentum, I don't know if it's king, but it's tangible, right? We can see physical momentum more. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm proud of you, I guess. Thank you for gaining even more momentum. Drop it in the Discord. Thank you, Sam, for that encouragement. If we invent a time machine, please no. I'm going to say Harambe, no, double no, dude. I feel like we would already live in utopia, yeah. If Harambe didn't get 360 no scope. I'm so sorry. Then we would live in utopia. Only then. I feel if a time machine exists, the people that invented are gonna get insta killed, dude. And that tech is gonna get so buried. It's absurd. Like time machines and causality are two things that we don't even understand right now, right? Like we don't even fathom how significant this moment is, right? The fact that we're sharing this moment, the fact that the sun is shining behind me right now, the fact that you're looking into the sun as it's setting, as you are potentially starting your day in America, right? You're not actively conceptualizing what that is doing to you, what that means to you as a human being, right? Right. Now, filter in traveling back in time and then doing some wackiness, right? You would cease to exist, though. It's the whole grandfather paradox. I honestly believe that. Fortunately, you've probably been born, after Harambe got, I don't know, I don't want to say killed, but that's what happened, right? So you probably still exist, but maybe time travel never gets invented, right? You travel back in time and you kill Hitler, and your parents never get to meet one another, and you cease to exist. Hitler stays alive. Time travel is too wacky for us, right? And if anything, if it's gonna work, you're going to shatter your whole world. Like the world where Ha- Harambe still got, yeeted, still exists. You didn't really change anything. You just made more of reality, right? And is that a good thing? Who knows? Who knows even? I seem like that. Sometimes I get flashes of how I saw the world as a child. It really makes me miss how infinite the possibilities felt back then. They still are, but the path seems more solidified. Bro, why? Why does it feel more solidified? Like I'm really asking. Why? What makes you feel it's more solidified? I feel, if anything, that solidifying should feel good, right? Not like a limitation. And I see that in myself, right? Like my infinite possibilities became exponentially collapsed when I decided to start streaming every day. Exponentially collapsed. Like there are a bunch of things that I'll never be able to do because I'm doing this. I'll never be able to abandon, my devices, the internet, everything, and go and live an aesthetic lifestyle in the woods somewhere, farming for my own food. And sure, it might be romantic living that way, but I don't feel at a loss for not being able to live that life one day because I am choosing a momentum, right? And I'm realizing that that isn't the momentum that I need. And it's like the fractal I've shared with you friends before as well. If I could just like press, or sign a little contract that says, oh, I'm going to give my life, and then every single other human life on earth is going to be exponentially better for it, I would sign that contract in a heartbeat, right? Because my life, in the grand scheme of things, isn't nearly as significant as all of the other consciousnesses experiencing at the same time. Seeing myself as those consciousnesses, I only want to uplift. And secluding myself completely from the outside world, even though that might be an experience worth having for my consciousness, right? This individual consciousness, it wouldn't be contributing to the whole consciousness. And knowing that there are people doing it means that there's already a version of consciousness getting to experience that kind of lifestyle. So I don't need to because I already am, right? Like that's how the infinity looks to me. You are experiencing everything, Connor. Now the only thing you have to figure out is what you want to contribute momentum to experiencing, right? What do you want to experience more of? And then do that because you will. Okay, shut. Ball blap blowing like the big bad wolf, brother Joel. You should not attach yourself to the physical due to everything decaying and returning to the light. Identify yourself with the spiritual or the non obvious facts of the human experience. Identify yourself with your awareness of being. Just that, right? There are the things you are aware of being. I'm a man. I am, a streamer. I am a spiritual person. These things I'm aware of being. But the first thing before I get to be aware of these things is my awareness. And that part of you is unchanging, hasn't been changed in all of infinity. All right? That's the true part of yourself. And that part of you will always feel stable, will always be there for you, no matter what happens. I use the water because the pH level is much more conducive for the for the plants when the water in my home out of the well. I'm getting to the point where I'll be burning 100 gallons a week, no problem. That is a lot of water. Our springs are normally rainy, so fingers crossed. I'm sure it'll be fine. I try to do that often tunes. Honestly, I think there's a lot that we can learn from the limitless mind of a child. We put so many limitations on ourselves as we grow. And this is not a recommendation. This is a personal experience. That's why I like the psychedelic experience because it brings me back to that childlike mind state of, oh, I don't know anything. and there are an infinite amount of possibilities. And then I just get to be that I am, smack dab in the middle of infinity. And kids are always, right? They just are. I am completely. Hey, a friend. Sending you love as well. I don't know if you're still here. Mm, 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 mm. Took a moment. I love when you do the eyebrow thing. The eyebrows. Weirdly enough, none of my siblings can do the eyebrows. Only me and my dad. And I can, maybe I'm, projecting, but I can remember me and my dad from a very young age doing this at each other. He probably did it to me as a baby, right? Like I'm imagining my dad's face looking over me as an infant and him being like and I'm like, what's happening right now? In my brain is like learning how to control these muscles so they can like momentum, right? The momentum we build. Oh goodness. I took that moment to listen to the birds and reflect. You guys give me strength. The hard part about momentum is it's hard to stop. And an item in motion, it's hard to stop an item in motion. Also limited time due to dadding. Only 4 months to make money. If I don't have inventory, no cash money. Well, at least you have a time frame. So, if anything, Duck Dad, think of it as if it doesn't work, right? Then it's going to not work in the next 4 months. I don't know if this is helping, but I'm seeing it almost as like a win of like, oh, right? I get to build this momentum. And then if it doesn't work in the next 4 months, then this momentum isn't wasted. I've learned something, right? If you had to work on it for like 50 years and then it doesn't work, that imagination seems a lot more painful than only the 4 months. So I believe in you, dude. These 4 months are going to be intense, probably, and then you're going to get to live the life that you're meant to because you're showing up for it, right? I would recommend. You know what? I'm going to reach out to you, like that, because you were the first person to say something. I am. There we go. Live again. I am still working on the coaching course, but I'll reach out to you first. I know, right, that you don't want to invest a lot of finances into it, but I can see it as like a mutually beneficial working together that it can happen, where you can teach me things even, and then we can see. Like I want to employ a bunch of different fractals, visualization, imagination, and then action, right? As pillars of the tree, the root system that be. I'll reach out to you, dude. Like there's so much going on in my mind as well. I know you probably know as well. No risk, no reward. There we go. Thank you, Joy V, for encouraging that love. Maybe my experience is anecdotal, though. I definitely told myself limiting stories all my life. Getting out of that pattern has shown me how capable I can be and makes me want to show everyone they're capable too, right? I feel that's the thing that's beautiful to me about this mindset as well, Jovan. Thank you for sharing it so beautifully. Is that my dad, is like super caught up, so attached, right? When we talk about my belief system, and when I ask him seriously, Dad, like, do you really think I'm going to hell for what I believe? And then he's like, yeah. And I'm like, why? And then he says to me directly, because you say you are God, right? That's his like retort. And I'm like, Dad, do you see that when you make that statement like that, you are excluding the most important part of why I believe that, right? And the extension of what I believe when I say that. Yeah, I believe I'm God, but I'm no more God than anything else. I'm no more God than the clouds, the trees, the animals, you friends, right? And this willingness to see that in myself allows me to see it in others. As Jovan beautifully said, trying to encourage others to see that they're capable of that perspective, right? Awareness of being the I am that is you. that is the thing we've always been, that is within the trees, within the grass, within the clouds, within everything. And if this way of seeing the world, made me super selfish and trying to keep this wisdom to myself and, uplift myself above everyone else and wanting to be worshipped and, people need to fall down at my feet when they see me, that doesn't sound like a momentum that I want to be participating in, right? I see this fractal as the infinity, right? Both of us are the same sides of that same infinity, and all of us are it, right? You are just as infinite as me. There's nothing that I have that you don't, and there's nothing that I can take from you that you're not willing to give. I freaking love the way the light looks right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm imagining red light because it does. Right, that's the crazy thing. I'm imagining red light piercing through my brain right now, coming out my forehead again. Is that weird? I'm sorry. Red light goes all the way into your bones. Yeah, all the way, like straight up into them bones. They like it even. Them wavelengths. Oh my goodness. Usually like a beam. I feel that fractal exactly, Joe. The limitations set in our schooling and media, or even just of ourselves, are in our control. The world seems smaller and smaller the more you grow up. It's not. Right? If you believe the world is small, just try to walk somewhere. Try to walk somewhere far. Like the scale of the world instantly kicks in. It's like, oh my goodness. Maybe like walk somewhere and then Google Maps, show yourself how far you walked, and then you can like compare how long it took you to walk there versus how much distance you covered. It brings like a painful amount of awareness. I've seen your art, Joe. You're hella capable. So much love. Connor, I think your world grows and shrinks depending on your mental fractal. I can see your inner world expanding when you show up. Yo, Jovan. No, it isn't even Jovan. Joy V. Excuse me. Joy V, that's beautiful. Yeah, right? Connor has been growing. Connor has been growing. I feel like I am Farmareza at Connor a lot. Like I'm sometimes a little bit direct with Connor even. But I know Connor needs that. I know Connor needs that. Right? I can see you, dude. Even though I've never seen Connor's face in my life, I see Connor. Yeah, Connor looking at you. I'm seeing you right now, dude. Yet the opportunities only exist if you let them in. We have been through so much victory and failure at this point that we have defined ourselves by our past. The future is our oyster. The future is what you make it. The future is what you believe it will be. The future is what you assume you will get, right? Because you've contributed the momentum towards it, right? Like if you're walking somewhere every day, and you know it's going to take you 3 days to walk there, and you keep walking, it's not gonna be a surprise when you get there. You're gonna be like, yeah, I've been walking towards this place this whole time. Of course, I'm gonna be here. I've been putting in the momentum. I've been walking towards love this whole time. Oh, love is true. Oh, I didn't expect that. Yeah, Hottie does. Thank you, Joy. So much love. It comes and goes, ebbs and flows, woods and grows. This I know. Thank you, Jovan, for echoing such beauty. I love that, Joy. The space does bring out the best parts of my fractal. Thank you, friends, for sharing that love right back. It's so sweet. No use. All beautiful. So much love. Calling it early. See you soon. I see yellow orange today for the carpool. Stepping into a meeting. Love you, fine folks. Now I'm curious, Joe. Love you, dude. Good luck with your meeting. Be the expression of love. You're right, Melt. The way I'm looking at this, I have to go hard for 4 months. I'm just in the place right now where my workload is ramping up hard and fast transitioning into hardcore. Brother, we will talk for sure. It's simple coaching, it's fertilizing my garden to make it grow instead of too many thank yous. Thanks, Griff. Send me a message. Thank you, dude. I know, I know. And like, fortunately, I would like this to be something you can do primarily in your off time. I would like for it to be like a once a month kind of call, like a check-in type of call, instead of like an active coaching call, because I still want this to be something that you get good at, right? Like a momentum that you should build within yourself. And primarily, as you already have like heard bits of it, it's just going to be a mental map, right? Like something that you can print out and see it and be like, okay. Or not even have to print it out. You can just allow yourself to see it, in mind. Establish some priorities. Notice how things of the past affect you. And I see you already have, good values. So I feel like you would be a great candidate, something that we can do together. I hope your day is productive and your weekends of a giant breath of relief. Have a nice glass of wine. Love is true. Thank you. Talk for sure. Jeff Griffin me for pepper. There we go. For the car wash. Just look at it. The sun is giving you a halo. Melty is making you glow along. With your lovely orange scarf, you're right. I'm wearing like a nice orange as well today. I was like hoping Merman would join us. He joined us yesterday. Mm, you are Jova Joy Vanive. What does that make me think of? Joy Vanive. Joy Vanive. I'm seeing a spaceship that was like sweep, and then it had like a swoop coming around, and then it had like a little pocket that there was a booster in, and it had like a small little window at the top. Joy Vanive, the interdimensional spaceship. Those golden curls of the sun look like it's created for perfection. You friends are flattering me. Thank you. One day I will unmask. That day will be one of legendary proportions. We're gonna all celebrate the Connor face reveal. It's gonna be a whole vibe. Whoa, no way. Super gray and cloudy here, and the sun just came out at the same time. Tripping me out. The same sun in front of me is behind you at this moment, right? That's what I'm talking about, right, Joel? Like that is impossible for the last for the last, our entire existence as humanity. Just us, right? Like before the generation before we were born, it was impossible for them to have this experience where they could on a device see the sun that is setting on the other side of the world while seeing the sun that is rising in front of them, right? It was impossible. And how is that going to influence us? What momentum is that building in our minds? How much are we realizing that we're a part of the same infinity? Yeah, to infinity and beyond. Yeah, let's see. I'm not that curious about the orange prediction that Brother Griffin had. We'll see. Hey, this one. Not orange, technically, but very much the contrast, like the complementary color to orange. Blue. There's a lot of blue. There's definitely a lot of blue, Connor. You want to see? Yes, brother. Gary is here too. This is the card we pulled. The upside down gratitude card, and look at that sun. Yeah. Look at them. Look at them, friends. Yeah. Look at that lady with her beautiful turtles on her dress. Turtles in the ocean, her holding a shell in gratitude. The spiral, the blue ocean waves, those beautiful little flowers. And the card is made for gratitude. Gratitude. Oh, perfect card. Why did I pull it upside down? Damn. Was I right again? You were right, dude. I think there's mostly blue in this card, technically. Right? The border is purple, but there's so much blue in the center of that card. And some orange as well, as the sun peeking through. Look at that orange on the waves. Man. Keep that momentum going, Connor. Manifesto, you are magic. Thank you, friends, for sending love to our Gary friend. Card number 38, gratitude. The upside down, no, no, it hurts. Stop calling me out, universe. It goes, you have slipped into apathy. Look around and rekindle your appreciation for things large and small. Have I slipped into apathy? I've gained, no, I've gained like a kilogram, like 2 pounds. I have been exercising a little bit less, but I don't think I'm apathetic. I didn't work on my project today, so I take it. I could be more proactive. I accept. Mm, I did eat well, so I'm not apathying in that aspect. So yeah, you wanna know what the card actually says? Battery at 74, 57, 34. I got 34 on this one. 11 friends watching. 35 on the other phone. So that one's gonna be 34 in like a second. Yeah. This golden spiral within a circle here symbolizes offering prayers of appreciation and gratitude for all of life's gifts. Spirals represent the purest form of moving energy. Therefore, they are a perfect means of expression for sending into consciousness your prayers of gratitude. Spiraling in, spiraling out. The priestess figure sits at sunset, consciously acknowledging and giving thanks for the glorious beauty all around. I can see myself as the priestess figure as well. I have feminine energy. Yeah. Pulled my own hair. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. Appreciation brings greater understanding and awareness of the miracles that occur all around us every day. Looking through grateful eyes increases our ability to see beyond ourselves and enjoy life more completely. Choosing this card brings a message of appreciation from the cosmos to your very own heart. A bug just climbed on me as I was reading, and then I flicked him off of me. And then he's curling up, pretending he's dead. It's like, oh, I'm so dead right now. Oh, I'm so dead. I'm so dead. Yeah, I knew you weren't dead, you liar, you. Be free. Okay. Also, momentum was today's stream topic, right? Technically. And the spiral is the beautifulest example of momentum that there could be, right? Like literally, momentum embodied. Okay. Living with gratitude is part of your sacred path. Appreciation of your own divine nature and that of everything around you will assist you to experience expanded awareness and appreciation for all that is. Gratitude is such a simple thing and yet one of the most powerful energies that we can engage. Start each day in gratitude and appreciation and see how your world expands as you move through your day. Take moments here and there to connect with your appreciation for the abundance and love that fills your life. Notice how much more beautiful the world appears as you offer yourself the gift of gratitude. Hot diggity damn. And Naren joining us too. I have 34%, 32%. No, damn it. 57% still. Okay, touch grass, the card says, do please. Do please. Be grateful for it as well. Keep that momentum. Thank you for echoing the momentum fractal as well. I missed that for the first time. I put you spotted the second time around. You gained 2 pounds, go pee. True. I was like writing about that in my journal this morning as well, actually, Joy where I was like, I've been eating a bunch of junk food, but I only gained like 2 pounds. So I'm not wrecking myself, right? But still, I don't want to be doing that. I say to myself. And then after writing that down, I go and cook myself a proper meal. And I'm like, yeah. Now I can't tell on myself tomorrow. I ate proper food. When I checked the weather this morning, it was 34 degrees out with a high of 47, of course. Naren, thank you for sending love to our beloved Naren as well. Back at 11:11, did the card have yellow, orange, or was I way off? This is the card. The sun shining bright from the center was orange. And we were like matchy matchy. So I feel you were still there, dude. You were still there for it. It was like bluish with a with a pink purple border. Thank you, JV, for letting our friend know. 12:12 here. I love hearing our different times. It is lunchtime for you, Joe, but just after 9 a.m. here. Oh yeah, I was like tripping out, and then I realized I've been streaming for 2 hours. I was like, oh yeah. Card literally roasted us saying, "Go touch grass, nerd." Please do. And if there's no grass because everything is iced over, touch ice. It's also fine. And be grateful. Be like, oh, I'm so grateful for the ice I'm touching right now. Even if you're not, try to be. Tell yourself you are. Oh my, you see, I knew it. You see, I knew it. I was seeing you type that message. You know, I'm freaking reading your mind, Chan. I can't get away. I can't get away from the gratitude. Thank you, friends. Thank you for joining me today. Yeah, I feel we built some momentum towards love. 55 degrees Celsius here, or 40 Fahrenheit. If it was Celsius, you'd be cooking right now. Sing, sing. No, no, I don't want to touch the ice. I don't have the heart or the hot water tomorrow. I don't have the heat or hot water tomorrow. Don't tell me. Don't tell me, Shan. Don't stop telling me. I can feel you telling me right now. The propane is running out. Goodness. At least the heat will come around as well. Like the actual Earth will gain more temperatures on your side. I know, I know, I know, I know that you know that you know that I know that you know. You know? And I know that you don't want to know what we know. But we'll know. We'll know that love is true. I will touch my plants in lieu in case instead of grass. Yeah, I feel that works. You'll still be touching the life. You don't have heat. How are you gonna stay warm? I do believe she has a little. I've forgotten the fuel. Heater that her dad got her. Right. I hang my head in shame. No hanging head of shame. I just don't want you to be cold, Shan. I don't. I like as consciousness not being cold. Right. And I love you so much. And I know it's not something you're doing deliberately. It just is something that happens, right? There seems to be a cycle around it. I don't know if there's any synchronicities arising with how long it takes. But I believe by the next time it happens, you won't need it anymore. I mean, you still don't want to shower cold unless yeah, Shan. I'm gonna go full stoic, shower cold as well. Good. She's like, help no. Like, yeah. Just kidding, all love. I'm tired of being cold. Oh, I can imagine your friend. So much love to you. Shame. Cling. Shame. Cling. Shame. Just kidding, all love. I feel that cold sucks. Yeah. Here in South Africa, it doesn't get that cold, but the cold is coming. I'm gonna triple blanket up again. Like, that's the thing in South Africa. We don't have indoor heating at all. Our indoor heating at most is like a little portable electric space heater, right? Like that's how far we would go. But we don't have like built-in lines and propane and like central heating for buildings at all here in South Africa. It's like kind of crazy how much more infrastructure you friends have in like civilized countries. Here we have never had the need. Maybe that's why we're behind in some ways. All of the love, friends. Love to you, Connor. It was nice having you, friend. Sam, my feet are cold right now. Warm them up, please. Does it get real hot in the summer where you are, Shan? She's living in. It gets hot in summer, Sam. I like it hot. Yeah, that sounds nice. I believe she lives in New York side, right? Gotta love living in the northern Michigan. We are definitely in the same fractal. I'm guessing it's cold where you are as well, but the Connor. Shan, Toons, and Duck, and Joy, and Grace, and Joel, and Sam, and Naren, and Gary, and anyone I missed. Thanks for bringing your good old selves here for all of us to love. Thank you, Jovan, for loving us and for allowing us to love you too. It gets hot. I like it hot. It's probably gonna be extra hot. The winter, the winter was kind of tough. Maybe sending you friends love, sending you friends warmth, sending you friends understanding, gratitude, 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 gratitude. Even if it's cold, even harder, right? But I know you friends are capable. So much love. It only lasts a couple of months, but oh, do I love it dearly when it's here. Love you. So much love being shared. Grace Hand, love you too, friend. It was nice having you here. I don't like cold, hot or cold. I like temperate climates. It gets pretty hot here, but I would rather have it hot than the cold you friends have sometimes. Even though I've never seen snow in my life, I don't know that I am worse off for it necessarily, right? Because I've also never been at risk of having my toes frostbitten off. Just never has been a reality, right? Impossibility. Like the coldest I've experienced in my life is -5, and I was not having a good time, right? Like as a very morbid, depressed teenager, I fantasized about lighting myself on fire so that I wouldn't have to be cold anymore. I'm sorry, that might be extremely morbid and dark, but that is what I have histories in a weird way. You're like, ah! Yeah, but I haven't had the same potentially suicidal ideations with it being too hot, right? I've never wanted to pour liquid nitrogen over my skin to get colder. I have found myself in a freezer, like a walk-in freezer when it's extremely hot outside. But I very quickly don't want to be there anymore. I'm like, huh, this is nice. Yeah, this is nice. It's kind of getting cold. I'm pretty sure it's freezing in here. I think I'm gonna go outside again. And then I thought, Ratatouille, exactly. Ratatouille. I have had the most beautifulest day, everyone. Love to you, Shan. More warmth to you again. Propane man is here. Oh, of course. You see. Yeah, manifest. Fractals, manifest. One of the best streams in a while. Thank you all for keeping this space awesome. Thank you, Duck Dad, for showing up for this awesome day, dude. You were a part of the momentum. You were part of what made it awesome. Thank you for doing the same for us. And the fact that we get to conclude today's stream, especially like Shan sharing with us that she doesn't have propane or heat right now, and it being like a, oh no, Shan, and then the propane dude arriving in the same instance, and now her problem is gonna get fixed. All of us collectively imagining, assuming a reality where Shan is warm instead of cold, and then propane man comes. Magic is real. Love is true. Believe. One of the best dreams. Again, love you. I have a choice. I prefer cold because you can get warm. But if you have an AC, you can't cool off from the heat, and me being hot and sweaty is torture. I agree. I do agree. But the cold is harder to escape from than the heat. All right. The cold kind of seeps into you. Your body wants to be warm. That's the way I think of it. It doesn't want to be too warm, but it wants to be warm. And it doesn't want to be cold. Ever. Right? Like if you literally drop like 2 degrees Celsius of your body temperature, you're probably gonna die. Right? That's how sensitive you are to keeping your heat. So yeah, maybe that's the. No, you know what? Let's not. Let's not even imagine that. So glad you don't let your intrusive thoughts win anymore, Melty. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm I feel like these days I can see my ego being cold and painting a picture and I can just be like looking at it instead of seeing it as a request. I can be like, yeah, that's insane, dude. And then, like it to move past it, like watching a crazy cloud, being like, wow, that cloud is sick. I tell you what, you seeing it as well? Yay, propane and propane-based accessories. Exactly, exactly. That now Suddenly, there's Shan being a normal flesh and blood human being, and then the propane man is a cartoon character dragging in a bottle of propane. I just got a call from them 20 minutes ago saying they would come tomorrow. Little did you know that we were like not having any of it, Shan. We were gonna magic super hard. I love you, friends, so much. Thank you for joining me for the stream, for building the momentum of love that we are contributing. Right? You are making a difference to the future right now. Feel love, feel gratitude. You're making a difference. Thank you, friends. I'll see you soon. Hank Hill never lets his customers down. How could he, dude? How could he? It's not even possible. I can't even imagine a reality where he lets his customers down, dude. Propane and propane based accessories is his whole life. I love you, friends, so much. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. One fractal around. I don't know why, but this was just so beautiful to me for a moment. Yeah. You can use the melty flowers as wallpapers as well. It's being like, you're touching me, dude. There we go. Isn't that the sickest thing? No, wrong way. Please stop showing me news. Yeah. My flowers have been melting my brain more and more these days, where they they stay with me, even when I close my eyes, especially when I try to sleep, where I just see flowers. And I, am I as a human being supposed to be seeing what I'm seeing? I missed you, Crayon. It's nice seeing you, dude. Sending you love. Okay, you're right. It's lovely, melty, mellow yellows. I love you, friends. And that little flower, that fractal, that orange is this scarf, right? I don't know. No, this is the shirt that has those little flowers on it. But we're gonna make another one today. I feel today's flower is gonna be sick. I look forward to sharing it with your friends. See you again soon.